Good afternoon all. So now we are discussing the last part of unit number 6, that is the landslides. So it contains a definition of the landslide, what are the various causes due to landslides occurs, then the various remedial measures to avoid the landslides, and what are the previous live examples of the landslides. Okay. So what is meant by the landslide? So this landslide is defined as the movement of a mass of a rock, a debris or earth down the slope when the shear stress exceed the shear strength of the material. Okay. So as we know that in a strength of shears unit number 4, we see that what is meant by the shear strength. As we know that is landslide is generally occur along the sliding sliding surfaces. Suppose this is our hill. Okay, suppose this is our hill and this contains some soil, this contains some soil. So this soil will try to slide down into downward direction, when it is happen when the shearing stresses shearing stresses developed due to sliding of one layer to the another layer to forming a shearing stresses. If the shearing stresses is greater than the shear strength, what is meant by the shear strength? Shear strength means we are creating some soil will offer some resistance to against the sliding, and this resistance is called as shear strength. Okay. Suppose the value of shear strength will be 10 and the value of a shear stress will be of 12. It means that the value of shear stress, this is called as shear stress, that is the stresses due to sliding, and shear strength, this also stresses which offers the resistance to the sliding. Okay. If the value of this shearing stresses is greater, it means this value of shearing stresses is, suppose we are assuming as 12 Newton per mm square or kilonewton per meter square, and shearing strength is 10 kilonewton per meter square. So obviously this value of this shearing stress is greater than the shearing strength. The soil is allowed to slide or slip onto this downward direction. Okay. So for preventing this sliding, we have to make some more resistance. This resistance which is called as a shear strength. So here the value of this shear strength must be greater than 12. So if your value of shearing strength is greater than 12, that is 13, so our slope will be stable. Okay. So due to which this sliding occur, this is called as a landslide, means the movement of mass of a rock. Okay. So in this landslide, this soil which contains some parts of soil or say rocks, then say debris or earth means that is soil, down the slope, that is occur due to shear stress exceeded the shear strength of the material, or we can also call it landslide as a landslip. It is a geological phenomenon that include wide range of ground movement such as rock falls, deep failure of slopes, and shallow debris flows. Or we can also call as landslide is a downward or outward movement of a soil, rock, or vegetation under the influence of the gravity. Okay. Due to influence of the gravity or due to action of the shearing stresses, the rocks, or we can say debris or the soil materials or any vegetable that can be slide from higher elevation to the lower elevation under the action of the gravity, which is called as a landslide. Okay. Which is called as a landslide. So these are the two kinds of slope here I am showing. The first is a weight is constant regarding of the slope. So here inclination is 0 degree, so our slope will be stable. So in this case, in the second case, so the first is which is shown by the red color, this landslide resisting force, that is nothing but our shearing strength of the material, and second which is shown by this blue color, that is called the landslide driving force, or due to which landslide is causes, that is called the shear stress. Okay. And this is your shear strength, okay, shear strength that is S, and this is our shear stress tau. Okay, from that we can find out the factor of safety, either this slope is stable or not. Okay, that we are going to find by using Mohr-Coulomb's law, okay, or by using factor of safety consideration. We know that the factor of safety equal to S upon tau. Okay, S is the shear strength of the soil, and tau is the maximum shearing tau is the shearing stress which causes the failure. Okay, so if this value of this factor of safety is less than 1, means our slope is unstable, and there is a chances of a landslide. Chances of landslide means chances of this falling of this rocks, or we can say debris, or we can say any soil materials. Okay, so for make a slope stable, our factor of safety must be greater than 1, so that our slope will be stable. Okay, so here, so factor of safety, that is resisting force means that is the shearing strength of the soil, that is S, that is we can calculate by using the Mohr-Coulomb law, that is S equal to C plus sigma tan phi, that is nothing but the resisting force, okay, which offer the resistance against the sliding, which is shown by this red color arrow. And second is the driving force. Okay, so driving force, that is a force due to driving force, or we can also call as a shear stress which causes this landslide. Okay, so that can be mobilized value of Cm upon sigma tan of phi. This is same formula, but here is a mobilized value of C and phi, that is Cm plus sigma tan of phi. So our slope will be stable when factor of safety should be greater than 1. It means that landslide, there is no chances of the landslide, and if the factor of safety is less than 1, there is a chances of the landslide. It means that this resisting force is preventing the mass from sliding down the slope, and are inversely proportional to the same hill slope and directly proportional to the angle of friction of the material. So in addition to this, resisting force can be significantly reduced in the case of rain or earthquake vibrations. So three distinct physical events occur during landslide: the initial slope failure, then the subsequent transport, and final deposition of the slide materials. Okay, so there are three phases of the landslide. First phase is the initial slope failure. So initial slope failure means some kind of soil will try to fall under the action of gravity onto this downward slope. Second is subsequent transport. Subsequent transport means transportation of this material, or we can say rocks, from this higher level point to the lower point. And last means that is final deposition, means it get deposited on suppose any landslide which is occur along the Ghat area. Okay, so there are three phases. Initially what will happen, there are some sign will show, so small amount of rocks or small amount of soil will try to slip onto this Ghat areas along this sloping region. So in second case what will happen, that is a subsequent transport, means the huge amount of soil, or we can say rocks, will be transferred from this higher level point to the lower level point along this road line, and finally it get deposited on some position, that is called as the final deposition. Okay, so depending upon that, so there are various types of the landslide according to their movements. What will be the movement happen while the landslide occurs? So first is called as the falls. So types of material, it is occur either bedrock or the soil. Okay, so it is called as a rock fall, and in case of the coarse grain, that is soil, that is coarse grain soil or fine grained soil, it is called as a debris fall, and for fine grained soil it is called as the earth fall. Then the topples. So in case of the bedrocks, it is called a rock topple, then the debris topple, and earth topple. So in the coarse grain soil it is called the debris topple, and for the fine grain soil it is called the earth topple. Then the slide, that is sliding is occur. There are two types of sliding. It's a rotational sliding, so means it is rotate in a circular direction. And the transitional sliding means slide in a horizontal direction. So it is called as a rock slide in the case of wet rock, and for the soil, that is a debris slide, and for fine grained soil, it is called the earth slide. Then the lateral spread, it is spreading in a lateral direction or a horizontal direction, which is called a rock spread for bed rock. So the first column is for rock and second column is for soil. So in the rock, that is a rock spread, and in the soil, that is debris spread, and for fine grained soil, that is the earth spread. Last is flow, that is in the bedrock, it is called as rock flow, and in the soil, it is for the coarse grained soil, it is called a debris flow, and fine grained soil is a earth flow. So you just remember this first name, that is fall, this is falls. So in the case of the rock, it is called as a rock fall. In the case of the topple, it is called as the topples, rock topple, the rock slide, the rock lateral spread, rock flow. And in the case of soil, so in case of coarse grain, it is that is debris fall, debris topples, debris slide, debris spread, and debris flows. And in case of fine grained soil, it is called as earth fall, earth topple, earth slide, earth spread, and earth flow. And sometimes there is a combination of two or more types of movement. Okay, two or more types of movement means simultaneously there will be falls will be there, topples will be there. That is combination of these two movements, that is falls, topples, or either spreads and flows. So this is called as that is combinations or complex movement. Okay, so these are the movements. So this is first is called the fall, that is the material that can be fall from the certain height. Okay, this is called the fall. I will show the diagram. This is called as the fall. Okay, this can be that is fall means this the mass which is detached from steeper slope or cliff and descend by pre-fall. Okay, means the material fall means what? This material that can be fall from this side to this downward direction, that is called as a fall. Okay, that is called as a fall. It can be freely fall from the certain height. Okay, then the topples means the mass tilt or rotates forward as a unit, means there is a single part of the rocks that can be rotated, and it can be tilt. Okay, tilt means it can be tilted in this direction. So here we are clearly shown that there is these small rocks that can be tilted. Okay, on this direction. Then the sliding will be occur. Slide, there are two types of slide, that is a rotational slide, and second is transitional slide. So this rotational slide, they generally occur in the case of the curvilinear portion, and second is which is called as a transitional slide, which is occur in flat surfaces. Okay, slide means, so there is this kinds of movement, that is a horizontal movement. Okay, in that there is a rotational movement, means the soil the soil mass can be rotated in this direction. It is called a rotational slide. And second is called as a transitional slide. So means the soil that can be translate from this direction through this direction in a horizontal way. Okay, so in this spread, then next is called as a spread. Spread means the is same as a slide. So in that, the small particle that can be spreaded in the horizontal direction. Then next is called as a flow, means when there is a movement of a debris from high level point to the original level point. So here we see that this is the original position, and that can be flow from this direction to this direction, that is called as a flow. So this is the original position that can be slide from this point to this point. Okay, this is the original position and after moving position. Okay, so once again, this is called as a fall, means the detached from a steep slope or a cliff and descends by the pre-fall. Okay, so this material that can be fall from this so this material that can be fall from this side. Okay, this side. So this is the original position that can be fall from pre-fall. We can call as a from vertical distance at a certain height, okay, which is called as the fall. Na? Then the topples means, so this single particle that can be tilted, okay, this original position is this is, and after the sliding it can be tilted, okay. So these are the tilting portion, okay, that is called the topples. Then the rotational slide, that the slide that moves along the surface of the rupture, that is curved and concave. In this rotational slide, most of the surface will happen is a curved surface. This is a rotational slide. If the surface is curved and concave, okay. So in this diagram we see that if we zoom this, if you want zoom this is called as a rotational slide. So these kind of the shape, or these kind of the concave surface or curved surface which is happen, the original position is this is the original position, okay. There is a directly sudden movement and sliding will be occur, that is called as a landslide, okay. Then the transitional slide, so transitional slide which is occur in the same portion but the surface is a flat. So here is a surface is a flat surface, this surface is a flat, okay. If you want to see the diagram of this transitional slide, okay, this is a mostly flat surface, and this sliding will occur. So this is the sliding, okay. Then the rock fall, so rock fall means the falling of the rock from the certain height. This is the first type, okay. This is the falling of the rock, okay. This rock will be falling from certain height, from this height this rock can be fall, okay. So here we also see this is a type of a fall, this is a type of fall, this is falling and this is deposited on this position, okay. Then the rock toppling, okay, topples means we see this topples means the single particle that can be tilted. So okay, so this is called the rock toppling. So original position it can be detached after the landslide occur, so it can be separated, okay, due to tilting. So this is also example of rock toppling, okay. This is an example of rock toppling. The lateral spreading means the occur when the soil mass spread laterally, and this spreading comes to tensional cracks in the soil mass, okay. This is lateral spreading, we see this lateral spreading, this is a lateral spreading, this is a gap we are creating, this is called a lateral spreading. In the lateral direction the spreading will be occur, so this is called as lateral spreading, okay. We can also call it this is lateral spreading. So this is our ground and this spreading, this is called as landslide. Then the debris flow means the flow which contains some amount of water or any other material, okay. So this is debris flow, so downslope movement of a collapsed and consolidated material along the stream channel, okay. This is debris flow, okay, due to the heavy rain. This is our debris flow means the water flow or which contain water as well as some soil particles, okay, due to heavy rain. This is the debris flow. So next is the causes of the landslide. So what are the various causes of the landslide? As we know that landslide occur when the stability of the slope is not improper, means the slope is unstable, okay, means the factor of safety is less than 1, okay, factor of safety is less than 1, the landslide will be occur, okay. So what are the various causes of the landslide? So there are various causes. First of all, the natural causes, and second is the human causes, or we can say man-made causes due to man-made activities. Natural causes means that can be landslide that can be occur due to natural activities. First one, that is called the gravity. Due to this, gravity works more effectively on steeper slope. It means that due to action of gravity, and if your slope is very steep, okay, if suppose your slope is very steep, or we can say this slope is very straight, obviously due to action of the gravitational force, this soil mass or any that is a rock material will try to move in a downward direction under the action of gravity more rapidly. Second, that is the geological factors. So geological factor means that is what is the geology of that soil strata, which contains any permeable sand or impermeable silt or clay. Okay, means the setting that the places, that is permeable sand and gravels above the permeable layers of the silt and clay. It means that so suppose our so there is a slope is there. On this slope there will be two layers. In the bottom layer there will be the permeable sand. Permeable sand means this, so suppose here is a clay layer and here is a sand layer. Okay, so due to this clay layer, okay, so this is a compressible layer, or permeable means water that can be percolated from this layer. Okay, sorry, so here is a clay layer and here is a sand layer. Here is a sand layer. Due to this permeability, so water that can be percolated from this soil, or if there is a heavy rain, due to this heavy rain, this soil particle will try to slide down in the downward direction, and along with this layer they are contact with this that is sandy layer. This sandy layer also try to move in a downward direction. Okay, the next is due to earthquake. That is we know that the earthquakes means there are some vibrations are created, okay, or the waves are created. Due to this wave there is a horizontal and a vertical acceleration will be created. Due to this horizontal and vertical acceleration or horizontal and vertical shaking of this ground surface. Okay, so there are two kinds of the acceleration will be occur in the earthquake prone areas. While the earthquake is occur, there are two kinds of the acceleration, or we can call as two kinds of a movement, or first is called as a vertical shaking, second is called as a lateral shaking. Okay, along this, suppose this is our sloping area. So when there is a earthquake is occur, so due to these vibrations, vertical and horizontal vibration, so this soil will try to slide in the downward direction. Okay, then the volcanoes. So volcanoes ash deposits, which is called as a lahar deposit, are the prone to erosion and subject to mud flow due to intensity of rainfall. Due to these volcanoes, so there are causing of the erosion. The soil particles are try to erode the surfaces, and due to which soil starts to move in a downward direction. So this volcanoes it can be mostly happen in the case of the rainfalls. Okay, and then the fluctuation of the water table due to tidal actions. Then the deposition of a loose sediment in the delta area, these are also causes. Then the next is the human causes or the man-made causes. So these causes are the most important one, that is man-made causes. So as we know that due to this deforestation, the cultivation and the construction along this sloping areas, okay, due to this deforestation, so this is important, deforestation and the cultivation means the growing of crops along this sloping area, and the various construction activities which can be carried out on this sloping area. This can be mostly happen in the mega cities, due to which what will happen, this soil along the sloping area will try to sliding down in the downward direction. Then the vibration for machinery or traffic. Okay, so while carrying out these activities, or we can say while carrying out the construction, we are using some machinery. So due to this landslide will be occur. Then the blasting. Okay, due to this blasting which is done along the nearby areas, so due to this blasting some rocks or we can say there are vibrations are created on surrounding area, due to which landslide will occur. Then the earthwork which alters the shape of the slope or which imposes the new loads on the existing slope. In the shallow soil, the removal of a deep root vegetation that binds the columns to the bedrock. And last, that is the construction, agricultural or forestry activities which change the amount of water which infiltrate the soil. So last is what are the various remedial measures to avoid this landslide. Okay, we see so if you remember there is a landslide where occur in the Malin. We know that this Malin, which is a small village which is situated in Ambegaon Taluka in Pune district. Okay, so the landslide were occur. This landslide will occur due to the people were farming along this sloping area. Most of their houses or their homes are situated on this sloping area. Okay, so due to which this vegetation on this sloping area or agriculture on this sloping area and construction of the sloping area, this landslide will occur on that. That is we famously called the marine landslide. Then the remedial measures. What are the remedial measures will take to avoid this landslide? First is a passive intervention. Passive intervention. So first of all, choose a safe location to build your home away from the steep slopes and places where the landslide have occurred in the past. It means that while you are constructing or while you are living in or you supposed to want to construct any home or any house, your area or your plot or your will be steep, or you can say flats. So you must avoid the steep slopes. Or is there any past chances where the landslide will be occur? You must be checked. Then on that area, second is prevent the deforestation and vegetation removal. Means to avoid this landslide, you better way avoid the cutting of trees and any removal of the vegetation. Then avoid weakening the slope. Okay, avoid the weakening the slope. Then the active prevent interventions. First is reforestation. Means to म्हणजे आपण मराठीत म्हणतो झाडे लावा झाडे जगवा, बरोबर ना. जास्तीत जास्त त्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला कसं हे करता येईल त्याचा आपण प्रयत्न केला पाहिजे. सेकंड, दॅट इज अ प्रॉपर वॉटर रन ऑफ मस्ट बी इन्श्युअर प्रोव्हाइडिंग अ प्रॉपर कॅनलायझेशन नेटवर्क. ओके, म्हणजे याचा अर्थ काय की जे स्लोपिंग एरियामध्ये जे स्लोपिंग एरिया आहे तिथून जे पाणी जे तुमचं जे सपोज जास्त पाऊस झाला मग ते पावसाचं पाणी तुमचं कसं जास्त साईडने तुम्हाला एखाद्या कॅनल नेटवर्कने कसं काढून साईडने देता येईल ते तुम्ही पाहण्याचा प्रयत्न करा. सेकंड इज ड्रेनेज. इट्स मीन्स दॅट ड्रेनेज मीन्स तेच आता मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की पाण्याचं कशी विल्हेवाट तुम्हाला व्यवस्थित लावता येईल ते पहा. देन द प्रॉपर लँड यूज मेजर्स, दॅट इज अडॉप्ट इफेक्टिव्ह लँड यूज रेग्युलेशन अँड बिल्डिंग कोड्स based on scientific research. Then the structural measures. So to avoid this landslide आपण काय करतोय, we are constructing retaining wall. Okay, nets means this geosynthetics म्हणून एक आपलं चॅप्टर आहे बघा फाउंडेशन इंजिनिअरिंगमध्ये की ज्याच्यामुळं काय होतं की ती जी सॉईल आहे ती दॅट कॅन बी स्टॅबिलाइज ऑन दॅट एरिया, दॅट कॅन बी स्टॅबिलाइज ऑन दॅट एरिया. देर आर व्हेरियस काइंड्स ऑफ नेट्स, जिओ नेट, जिओ ग्रीड नावाचे एक ते असे नेट्स भेटतात मार्केटमध्ये की ते याच्या अलॉंग विथ जर आपण कन्स्ट्रक्ट केल्या की त्यामुळे तुमची लँडस्लाईड होणार नाही. दुसरी गोष्ट काय करणार की सपोज तुमची एक वॉल तुम्हाला असं दिसतंय की इथली सॉईल काय करणार आहे, तुम्ही घाटी एरियातून जाताय नाही, इथं तुमचं डोंगर आहे, इथून तुमची सॉईल स्लाईड व्हायची चान्सेस आहे. मग तुम्ही काय करा, कन्स्ट्रक्ट एक रिटेनिंग वॉल कन्स्ट्रक्ट करा, वॉल कन्स्ट्रक्ट करा की जेणेकरून ती सॉईल तुमची खाली पाडणार नाही. ओके, next the legal and the policy. So this legislation to direct government or private program to reduce landslide losses should be strengthened. Then the next use करा की त्यापेक्षा नेक्स्ट GIS यूज करा. लँडस्लाईड हजार्ड मॅपिंग कोणत्या एरियामध्ये लँडस्लाईड होती आहे हे GIS GPS हिशोबाने जे इन्स्ट्रुमेंट किंवा GIS असो बघ, ग्लोबल इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन GPS ग्लोबल पोझिशनिंग सिस्टीम, त्या साह्याने फाइंड करा कोणचा जो लँडस्लाईडचा एरिया आहे तो त्याचा एक मॅप तयार करा. ओके, देन द लँडस्लाईड सेफ्टी मेजर्स. ओके, मग आता सपोज तिथं की सपोज लँडस्लाईड होणार आहे तुमची बिफोर द लँडस्लाईड तुम्ही काय करणार, फाइंड आउट इफ द लँडस्लाईड हॅव हॅपन इन युअर एरिया इन अ पास्ट. बघा की अगोदर तुमच्या एरियामध्ये याच्यापूर्वी कधी लँडस्लाईड झाली आहे का. सेकंड काय आहे, लुक आउट फॉर लँडस्लाईड वॉर्निंग साईन्स लाईक डोअर्स ऑर विंडो जॅम फॉर फर्स्ट टाईम. मग आता तुम्हाला काय लँडस्लाईड होणार आहे बरोबर ना, लँडस्लाईड होणार त्यासाठी ते अगोदर काहीतरी वॉर्निंग साईन दाखवेल. पहिलं काय होईल की तुमचे दरवाजे खिडक्या यांचे दरवाजे काय होतील, हे जॅम होऊन जातील. देन न्यू क्रॅक्स अपिअर इन द वॉल, तुमच्या वॉलमध्ये काही क्रॅक्स दिसतं की सुरुवातीचे पहिले क्रॅक्स सोडून नवीन काही क्रॅक्स यायला लागलेत. ब्रिक्स, फाउंडेशन, रिटेनिंग वॉल, ओके याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यात काय तुमचे क्रॅक्स येतात काय ते चेक करा. देन consider relocation in your house is located in area particularly vulnerable to the landslide. While doing so, remember first of all त्यासाठी काय करा, do not build on or at the base of an unstable slope. तुमचं घर जे बांधणार आहे की ते उतारा की तुमचा जो स्लोप आहे त्या स्लोपच्या खाली कुठं कन्स्ट्रक्ट करू नका की जे स्लोप तुमचा अनस्टेबल आहे बरोबर ना. आणि त्या स्लोपला काही तिथे व्यवस्थित सपोज जरी कन्स्ट्रक्ट करत असाल तर तिथे तुमची व्यवस्थित तुमची ड्रेनेज सिस्टीम वगैरे आहे का ते चेक करा. जरी तुम्हाला त्याचं कन्स्ट्रक्ट करायचं असेल तर तो जो स्लोप आहे त्या स्लोपच्या शेजारी तुम्ही काय कन्स्ट्रक्ट करा, रिटेनिंग वॉल कन्स्ट्रक्ट करा. टू हॅव टू कन्स्ट्रक्ट द रिटेनिंग वॉल. ओके. आणि ऑलवेज स्टे अलर्ट अँड अवेक. त्यासाठी प्रत्येक वेळेस काय करा की रेडिओ ऐकत चला, लिसन टू रेडिओवर बातम्या ऐकत चला, टेलिव्हिजन पाहत जा की ते सांगतात की इथं कुठे जास्त पाऊस पडला आहे की वॉर्निंग इंटेन्स ऑफ रेन वॉल, स्ट्रोम अँड डॅम्प वेदर. ओके, की ज्याच्यामुळं आपण मड फ्लो होऊ शकतो किंवा डेब्रिज फ्लो होऊ शकतो, त्यासाठी कंटिन्यू पाहत चला. देन मेक इव्हॅक्युएशन प्लॅन इन केस ऑफ लँडस्लाईड विथ ऑल एमर्जन्सी आयटम्स. हां ठीक आहे, हे झालं बिफोर लँडस्लाईड, लँडस्लाईड होण्याच्या अगोदर. नंतर ड्युरिंग लँडस्लाईड झाल्यानंतर काय करणार तुम्ही, लिसन टू एनी अनयुज्युअल साऊंड दॅट माइट इंडिकेट्स मूव्हिंग डेब्रिज सच ॲज ट्रीज क्रॅकिंग और बाउल्डर्स नॉकिंग टुगेदर, ट्रिकल और फ्लोइंग ऑफ फॉलिंग मड्स और डेब्रिज मे प्रिसेज लार्ज फ्लोज. ठीक आहे, की पहा की काय तुम्हाला असं दिसतंय की त्या ठिकाणी की काही डेब्रिज फ्लो होतो आहे किंवा काही कुठं क्रॅक जाते ते काय. ठीक आहे ना. आणि तुम्ही जर सपोज लँडस्लाईडच्या वेळेस तुम्ही बाहेर असाल त्यावेळेस काय करणार तुम्ही, फाईल यू आर आउटडोर ड्युरिंग लँडस्लाईड, ट्राय टू गेट आउट path of a landslide or mud flow by running to the nearest high ground or away from the path. Okay, try to get out the path of a landslide or mud flow by running to nearest high ground or away from the path. म्हणजे ज्या ठिकाणी लँडस्लाईड होते तिथून तुम्ही दुसरीकडे जाण्याचा प्रयत्न करा, जेणेकरून ज्या ठिकाणी हाय ग्राउंड असेल किंवा ज्या ठिकाणी तुमची लँडस्लाईड होती त्या लँडस्लाईडपासून दुसरीकडे जाण्याचा प्रयत्न करा. देन इफ यू आर नियर अ रिव्हर, be alert for any sudden increase or decrease in a water flow or change from clear to muddy water. ओके, तुम्ही जर याच्या शेजारी असाल की तुमचे जे घर तुमच्या नदीच्या कडेला असेल आणि तुम्हाला दिसतंय की पाणी जाते त्या ठिकाणी क्लिअर वॉटर जायच्या वेळी त्याच्यात काहीतरी गाळ येतोय किंवा मडी वॉटर, मग ते तुम्ही काय म्हणता की आपल्या याच्या भाषेत काय म्हणता तुम्ही की कलरफुल वॉटर येते किंवा गढूळ पाणी येते. ठीक आहे ना. सच चेंजेस इंडिकेट्स द लँडस्लाईड अपस्ट्रीम. याचा अर्थ की वर कुठंतरी ती तुमचं जे आहे त्या ठिकाणी लँडस्लाईड झालेली आहे. सो मूव्ह क्विकली टू सेफर एरियाज. काय करा, ज्या ठिकाणी तुमचं सेफ एरिया असेल त्या ठिकाणी मूव्ह ऑन. इफ द रॉक्स अँड अदर डेब्रिज आर अप्रोचिंग, रन टू नियरेस्ट शेल्टर ॲज अ ग्रुप ऑफ ट्रीज ऑर बिल्डिंग. तुम्हाला तिथे दिसतंय की जास्तीत जास्त मोठे रॉक असतील, ग्रुप ऑफ ट्रीज येते किंवा बिल्डिंग येते जायचा प्रयत्न करा. देन व्हाईल यू आर इनडोअर्स ड्युरिंग लँडस्लाईड, तर तुम्ही घरात असाल लँडस्लाईड झाली त्यावेळेस काय करणार, स्टे इनसाइड अँड रिमेन अलर्ट. आतच राहा आणि अलर्ट राहा. लिसन टू रेडिओ, टेलिव्हिजन फॉर एनी अपडेट दॅट इज लँडस्लाईड ऑकर्स आउटसाइड. काही तुम्ही रेडिओ याच्यावर काय करा, सूचना ऐकत चला काय काय होते. इफ युअर हाऊस फॉल्स अपार्ट ड्यू टू लँडस्लाइड अँड इफ देअर इज नो एस्केप, होल्ड ऑन समथिंग स्ट्रॉंग अँड प्रोटेक्ट युअर हेड. ठीक आहे. जर लँडस्लाईड तुमच्या घरावर जर ती लँडस्लाईड होत असेल तर तुमचे जागेवरच राहा आणि तुमचे जे डोके जास्तीत जास्त कसं तुम्ही सेफ करता येईल ते पहा. देन आफ्टर द लँडस्लाईड स्टे अवे फ्रॉम द लँडस्लाईड. लँडस्लाईड नंतर काय करा, स्टे अवे फ्रॉम द लँडस्लाईड एरिया ॲज देअर मे बी डेंजर ऑफ ॲडिशनल स्लाईड. डू नॉट ड्राईव्ह थ्रू. वॉच द फ्लडिंग which may occur after the landslide. Check for injured trapped person near the slide without entering the slide area. Direct rescues to the their location. Then next काय करा, help the neighbors who may require special assistance, infants, elderly people and disabled people. शेजारच्या लोकांना मदत करा की जे वयोवृद्ध लोक असतील ते. Then they listen to local radio station for the latest emergency information. रेडिओ आणि टेलिव्हिजनवर पाहता की आपल्याला काय इमर्जन्सी सुविधा काय पोहोचेल शासनाने ते. Then they look for and report broken utility lines to appropriate authorities. Then they check the building foundation, walls and surrounding land for damage. The safety of the area needs to assured before the reoccupation. नेक्स्ट इज रिसेंट लँडस्लाईड. पहिली लँडस्लाईड झाली बघा 16 जून 2013 केदारनाथला झाली होती, उत्तराखंडला. हे बघा हे तुमचा रोड आहे, रोडची इथंच बघा डायरेक्टली सॉईल काय झाली तुमची खाली वरून दरड कोसळली, पूर्ण ही झाली. तिथे काय झालं, कॅज्युलिटी किती झालं, 5700 कॅज्युलिटी झाल्या बघा. एवढे लोक तिथे ही झाले होते. दुसरी झाली ती 21 जुलै 2014 माळीनला, आंबेगाव तालुका, पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट, महाराष्ट्र. हे बघा आता हे आहे ना, ॲक्च्युली मी ते माळीनला व्हिजिट केली आहे. आता इथे सगळे घरं होते बघा, ह्या ठिकाणी सगळे काय होते घरं. ही जिल्हा परिषद प्राथमिक शाळा आहे तुमची, ही जिल्हा परिषद प्राथमिक शाळा. इथं काय झाली, सगळी लोकांची शेती, ह्या एरियात सगळी शेती होती. त्याच्यामुळं काय झालं, ही सगळी सॉईल काय झाली, अचानकच पाऊस झाला आणि याच्यामुळे पूर्ण हे घरच. आता याच्या शेजारी बघ इकडे बी काही साईडनी काही घरं येतं, पूर्ण हे घरं त्या दरडीखाली किंवा त्या लँडस्लाईड खाली गेले. आलं का लक्षात. तुम्ही आज जरी गेला तर तिथे हे तुम्हाला हे दिसली शाळा आहे, दिस जिल्हा परिषद प्राथमिक शाळा. ओके, थँक्यू.